This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist CJ Cartledge.
Good morning, everyone. I'm First Alert Meteorologist CJ Cartledge here, hopping on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown for today. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know it may have been a little bit stressful, mainly because of the storms that rolled through, mainly during the overnight hours. I know that is definitely a little bit stressful, especially there because they were severe storms rolling through the ArkLaTex, but we're all in the clear from those storms, at least from the weekend here as of right now here. But we're expecting mostly dry conditions through the day today, maybe an isolated shower or two, but for the most part, we are expecting mostly dry conditions and partly cloudy skies overhead here. And we'll also be just a little bit cooler as compared to where we were this past weekend. Highs are only expected to reach the upper 80s and lower 90s in some portions around the region, but most areas should only reach the upper 80s for today. So let's hop right into the forecast, and we're also going to be talking about a little recap on the Lubbock, Texas storms that did produce a couple of tornadoes over there and some cool photos that were circulating around the internet. So let's dive right into the forecast. This is our KSLA Tower camera sponsored by Mattress Plus. We are seeing mostly blue skies here in Shreveport and Bossier, mainly because of the storms finally making their way out of the region as of right now. And as we move through this week, actually, we will see a little bit of a downtrend in terms of these temperatures, which I will also talk about in this forecast later on here. But yeah, that's pretty much the view that we have here across the ArkLaTex for the most part here. With maybe a little bit of some cloudiness near Texarkana, but everything is starting to clear out, especially for areas near like McCurtain County and some portions in East Texas along I-20 as well, near Longview and Rusk County. But Shreveport and Bossier, we are starting to see more blue skies rather than clouds as of right now. We should start to see more clearing of those skies as we move through the next couple of hours or so, and especially by the time we hit to the afternoon hours for today. Here's our temperatures right now across the region. I'm going to move myself back off the screen once again. 77 here in Shreveport, 78 for Marshall, 77 also for Texarkana and Magnolia. It's a little bit cooler down to the southern half of the ArkLaTex, mainly because they're the last regions to receive those storms from last night here. 72 in Center, 75 for Florine, Mansfield, Natchitoches, and almost hitting the 80-degree mark near Idabel as of this hour, sitting at 79 degrees currently. In terms of feels like temperatures, we are definitely feeling that humidity for the northern half of the region, not so much for the southern half as feels like temperatures are actually very close to the actual temperatures as of right now. It feels like 81 near Marshall, 82 near Idabel, 80 for DeQueen, and it feels like 79 up there near Texarkana and Magnolia, with the same for Shreveport and Bossier here. So I'm going to put myself back on the screen here. As you can see, today's forecast, we're going to be talking about mostly dry conditions out there, but we could see rain by the time we hit the end of the forecast period. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of this forecast to know when and where to expect rainfall across the ArkLaTex. But temperatures will be rising into the 80s by the time we hit around the lunch hour, and into the upper 80s for most of the area, lower 90s for some areas by the time we hit the middle of the afternoon. But as you can see, those 20% rain chances, we could see some clouds that will hold enough moisture to produce a little bit of some rainfall, maybe a drizzle or two in some spots around the region. But that's pretty much going to be it for the ArkLaTex for today, at least. Here's our highs for today. Getting up to 90 degrees, potentially near Shreveport and Bossier, 89 for Mansfield, Nacogdoches, Center and St. Augustine, 88 for Longview and Marshall. It looks to be around 90 for Idabel, and move it a little bit off to the west here. 90 for Idabel and DeQueen, 87 for Minden and Homer, 88 for Ruston, 92 potentially near Natchitoches for today. And in terms of feels like temperatures, we could see the low to mid 90s for some areas, maybe even the upper 90s near Natchitoches down there to the south and eastern portions of the region. It feels like 89 forecasted, feels like 89 for Minden. Forecasted feeling like the lower 90s for areas north of I-30 for today. Not going into future track. We aren't expecting much for today, but we could see some rain showers as we move into tomorrow. So let's go over it right now. I'm going to move myself back off the screen here. We're going through the rest of the daytime hours. As you can see, by the time we hit the afternoon, we should see clearing of the clouds for the most part here. And as you can see, by the time we hit the late afternoon hours, we should be mostly clear across the entire ArkLaTex, with the exception of maybe a few isolated clouds producing some rainfall. But that is pretty much going to be it here. And as you can see, moving into the overnight hours, going into Tuesday morning, we should remain mostly clear in those skies, with the exception of a batch of clouds moving in during the daytime hours of our Tuesday. By the time we hit the afternoon, this will be the reason why rain chances may rise slightly here for Shreveport and Bossier. A little bit higher for areas south of the I-20 corridor, with a bit of a line of showers and storms moving through the ArkLaTex, possibly clipping by areas along I-20, mostly staying just south of I-20. But heading towards the evening, we should be back to mostly clear conditions out there. I'm going to see if I can pull this out a little bit farther. There we go. Going out a little bit farther here, we are going to see mostly dry conditions through the night on Tuesday into our Wednesday, where we could see more rainfall for the ArkLaTex heading through the daytime hours here. So definitely keep that umbrella handy, especially if you're going out and about for our Tuesday and our Wednesday coming up. Tomorrow, we can expect mostly sunny conditions to start the day before rain showers start to move through the southern half of the ArkLaTex. Most areas north of I-20 won't have to worry about any rain showers until potentially on Tuesday. But we're expecting similar temperatures, similar highs in terms of temperatures, as you can see by the afternoon, upper 80s and lower 90s through the day here for the ArkLaTex region. Our highs for tomorrow, 91 for Shreveport, 92 for Texarkana. Looks to be in most likely the upper 80s for the southern half of the ArkLaTex, mainly because of higher rain chances and higher cloud cover, higher amount of clouds. 88 for Longview and Mount Pleasant, 91 for Idabel and the Queen, 92 for Texarkana and Hope. And taking a look at our forecast highs for the next 5 days, we are expected to rise into the lower 90s for Tuesday for most areas along I-20 and northward. We're expected to drop down into the low to mid 80s potentially, and some areas may even reach the upper 80s in some portions around the region for Wednesday and Thursday. But that's when rain chances are expected to rise by Wednesday and Thursday as well for most of the ArkLaTex, especially on Friday, and even heading into our Saturday, where temperatures may rise back into the towards the average for this time of year, actually, which is in the upper 80s and some areas the lower 90s. In terms of the muggy meter, we aren't expected to receive we're not expected to receive any types of relief, as I should say, for the next 7 days ahead. We're expected to remain oppressive, or feel oppressive feeling conditions out there across the ArkLaTex through the next 7 days ahead, no matter what the temperatures will be. So make sure to prepare for that. Prepare for some humidity. You might not want to get your hair done this weekend if you are looking to get your hair done for this week at all. It's going to be pretty humid and it might get messed up. So just a heads up on that. Here's our rain chances for the next 5 days. We're expecting slight rain chances for Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday. As I said before, we're expecting rain chance to rise by the middle to late part of our work week and into next weekend as well, where temperatures may rise back up into the lower 90s. Our rainfall potential for the next 7 days, we're expecting the areas north of I-30 to get the bulk of the rainfall ahead. It's going to be around 3 to 4 inches for the next 7 days ahead here. That's not including what we saw last night. And with last night's totals, it may have pushed that rainfall potential upwards of maybe 5 inches for the ArkLaTex. So we are definitely expecting a good amount of rainfall for the region as we move towards I-20. It looks to be at around an inch to inch and a quarter of rainfall through the next 5 days, and even lower than that, maybe around a half an inch at the least through the next 5 days for the areas to the far south and eastern portions of the ArkLaTex here. But this is our tropical development. Right now, we're not seeing any storms in the Atlantic basin, so we're not expecting anything through the next 7 days either. But through the next or through June 11th through the 17th, as of the Climate Prediction Center, we have a 20% chance of tropical formation or tropical development there in the Gulf of Mexico. And through the next, I believe this is the next 6 to 10 days, up to the next 10 days ahead, we could see another 20% chance of formation within the next June 18th through the 24th. So around 9 to 15 days out. This forecast was posted around June 3rd, I believe it was. So almost a week ago. And by the time we reach tomorrow, we should get another update on the tropical chances that we have in terms of storms here in the ArkLaTex, or at least storms in the Atlantic Basin. Not many storms are expected during this time of year, as according to climatology. This is where we are today. Not many storms have formed, according to climatology here. Maybe just less than 20 storms total. And in terms of the hurricanes, it's much less than that. It's around 0 to 5, and no major hurricanes have been produced as of this time of year so far, according to climatology, which is around a 30-year average from 1991 to 2020. I think this graphic is made from. But the lighter red colors correspond to the tropical storms or named storms, which would be tropical storms. The darker red color is hurricanes, and that purplish pinkish color is major hurricanes. So we during this time, we have seen named storms, but we have not seen many hurricanes. It's pretty rare for this time of year, and we have not seen any major hurricanes at all. It's a little bit of a glitch there, but we're going to go to our 7-day forecast. Just give me a second here to load it up. And there we go. Here's our 7-day forecast here across the ArkLaTex. The KSLA First Alert Weather Day has been lifted, obviously, because of the storms moving out of the region. 7-day forecast shows that we can expect the lower 90s for Monday and Tuesday into the lower to mid 80s. Some areas even the upper 80s for our Wednesday and Thursday ahead. As we move through the rest of the work week into our weekend, we can expect the lower 90s and upper 80s once again here, with rain chances rising by the middle of the work week through the rest of it ahead. So definitely a good amount of rainfall ahead for us here in the ArkLaTex. So make sure to be prepared by keeping that umbrella handy, and make sure to keep an eye on that forecast, as things could change, and we will get more information on which areas may be hit once the time comes. Once you get closer in time, we'll get more information on that. But right after this quick break, we will be talking about the storms that happened in Lubbock, Texas. I know you may have seen some pictures online about tornadoes that have happened in Lubbock, Texas. I believe it was last Thursday. So we'll go into a little bit of detail about the storm damage that occurred, and some pictures that were pretty interesting and that did go viral on social media here. So right after this quick break, I'll be diving a little bit more into that. Make sure to stay tuned. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. So, now we're going to be diving into the storms that we saw last week that happened in Lubbock, Texas, and the severe outlook was actually for portions of Oklahoma and the northern panhandle of Texas here, and it definitely brought some strong tornadoes that we saw here. Well, or at least the meteorologists saw on social media and different other different platforms that people were posting about, and it definitely caused a good amount of damage in some portions around the Texas area here. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna share the screen to the to this computer where meteorologist Matt Jones actually posted. This is shared from our sister station in Lubbock, Texas. This is the video of twin tornadoes, as Matt Jones says. This was an intense video captured the day prior. This was posted Friday. This was on Thursday, June 5th, in West Texas by storm chaser Stanton Lane Taylor, courtesy of our sister station, our great station, which is KCBD in Lubbock, Texas. So I'm going to give you guys a quick look at this video, and I'm going to give you guys another quick look at the radar picture that we saw associated with these tornadoes. As you can see, there was one tornado right there, the main one that you see, and he pans to the right with another developing tornado just right next to it here. So definitely a dangerous situation to be in at that moment, but it's also pretty cool to see, especially for from a meteorologist's point of view, and you can see all of the rotating clouds and all of that. So there was definitely a very interesting video that definitely went viral, as you can see by the likes that meteorologist Matt Jones had there. But it was definitely an interesting thing to see from this point of view here. But also, this radar picture that Matt posted here, this was from the Raxpol radar. This is a project, actually, from the University of Oklahoma, where they they gave radar data, or at least storm data, pretty quickly, around 20-minute increments here. And this was the product that they had from this project. It was a very beautiful looking radar picture there, which shows the swirling coming out all the way from miles away, around 25 kilometers away, around one circular rotation there. And that circular rotation had actually produced an eye that is very similar to a hurricane. Very similar to a hurricane. That doesn't mean it is a hurricane or it was a hurricane, but it was very similar to a hurricane. It was very tight circulation. It was tight enough to form an eye within the tornado. Most tornadoes actually produce an eye, but not enough to have it seen on radar here. So it was definitely a very interesting sight to see, and a picture that will most likely go down in the weather record books. Really, it's a very interesting, very beautiful picture. And this is once again, this was from the Raxpol radar project from the University of Oklahoma, as they tracked a large wedge tornado in Morton, Texas. This is actually not in Lubbock. This was in Morton, Texas. This is a separate situation. So notice the eye-like feature, very similar to that of a hurricane. So yeah, it was definitely a pretty interesting thing that I saw last week, and I thought I should share with you guys. And I hope you guys really enjoyed that. Let's go over some storm damage reports that was seen from. So we're going to be looking right here. This is from the National Weather Service page here. I'm going to highlight exactly where those storm damages was. And oh no, this is not for Hockley. I'm going to highlight the one from Lubbock, Texas. This is what this report was. The report of twin tornadoes observed by the NNSL, and also in around the same area near Reese Center, a rain-wrapped tornado was observed near Lubbock, Texas. Yeah, so definitely some very interesting things that I wanted to share with you all, and I appreciate you guys for watching it here. So also with yesterday's storms, we did not see any tornadoes from at least in the ArkLaTex. We saw a lot of wind and damage reports, and the main threat that I was talking about on air was the wind threat. We did see multiple reports of, I believe, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. I know the cap was around 80 miles per hour associated with those severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's go actually into the storm damage from yesterday here. Gonna look at some storm damage from yesterday. There were no tornado reports from for the ArkLaTex here, but we did receive quite a few damage reports, storm damage reports from the National Weather Service for damaging winds. And we also saw some quarter to half dollar size hail in parts of the ArkLaTex as well. So I'm just looking through it to see if there's any storm damage reports that were noted within the ArkLaTex. Can't seem to find any right now, but I know there was some on the map here. St. Augustine, Texas. Public reports ping pong ball size hail near Bland Lake. There was a couple more too that I just can't seem to find. Panola County near Carthage. Reports of half dollar size hail near the intersection of County Road 106 and County Road 103 as well. And Louisiana Point and Coop, public reported quarter size hail over there. Yeah, and that's all I can look through now. I don't see many cities that were. They were most of the reports were wind damage, but I can't seem to find those are hail reports. It is the morning. So good morning, everyone. Just my brain's a little bit slow right now. But let's look through the wind damage reports now. So Rusk, reports of social media indicate structural damage at a convenience store, gas station with large window blown in. That was near Tatum in Rusk County. Shelby County, damage to the First Baptist Church of Timpson, reported via broadcast media source. And St. Augustine reported 911 call center has received reports of numerous trees down across the county. Many county roads and main roads have trees down. Road crews are currently attempting to repair those. Yeah, there was a bunch of them in Texas yesterday, so a whole lot of them in Texas. But yeah, that's pretty much wraps up the episode for today. If you want us to discuss anything here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown, make sure to email us at weatherbreakdown@ksla.com for sure. Or you can message us on Facebook. Anybody on the KSLA First Alert Weather Team, or you can message the account, the KSLA First Alert Weather Team. That's pretty much what it is. Make sure to continue to join us the weekdays at 10:30 a.m. I will be back on tomorrow talking about tomorrow's topic. Make sure to stay tuned for that. We'll have more ideas coming your way as we get closer in time here. So make sure to tune into the show tomorrow. We'll most likely be talking about the local forecast again, and I'll have something special for you all after the break during the next episode here. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is meteorologist CJ Cartledge here signing off. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday and the start of your new week.